Very good. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining the ACA Small Business Bootcamp and Resource Collective for this Thursday, July 22nd. We're excited to have you all here with us. I'm Robert Theobald, Small Business Ombudsman and Vice President of Small Business Services at the Arizona Commerce Authority. As we like to do, we like to start with thanking all of our community partners. We cannot do these bootcamp sessions without them, their time, their effort, their expertise. It's very much appreciated. And as you can see, we have quite a few community partners. For those not familiar, the Small Business Bootcamp and Resource Collective is designed to help small businesses return from the COVID crisis stronger than ever. It is a statewide initiative supported by all of our community partners. And not only is it the Resource Collective, but it is also a pretty awesome content library. You can find on our website, listed there at the bottom of the page, and we'll post that in the chat as well. But on that page, you went to it to register for today's sessions. You can also see the upcoming sessions that are in there. And then a little bit further down on the page, you'll find the Resource Collective. And the Resource Collective are additional tools and guides brought to us by our community partner network. And there are, to help support you as you run your business, we cover, there's guides to help cosmetologists, construction, manufacturing, retail, restaurants, and more. So it's a great tool with a lot of good resources. Additionally, as I mentioned, we have our content library, and we are in our 63rd week, I believe, of the Small Business Bootcamp, and we record every session. So today's session will be recorded, and you'll have access to it later today on our website, and there's no cost for that access. But because we've recorded all of our sessions, we have a collection of well over 140, I think we're approaching about 160 recorded webinars that you can go back and watch at any time. You can download the slide decks that the presenter shared, and it makes a great library of expert content. And you can find all of it through our archive. You can see it on the screen there. On the page, you'll find archive, and we list it by week. If you're looking for a specific topic and you can't find it, feel free to ping us, let us know, and we can guide you to the sessions that may help you with the content you're looking for. Additionally, the state has a couple good websites. First, the state's COVID-19 information and resource page is arizonatogether.org. And the second one is the Arizona Commerce Authority's COVID-19 business resources page, where you can find additional business guidance and funding and financial information, along with other great business-related COVID-19 information. The Arizona Commerce Authority has a number of programs to help support small businesses. We have our Small Business Services, and our Workforce Division, and then our Arizona MEP, Manufacturing Extension Partnership. All these programs are here to help small business owners and support your growth and development. Additionally, for those looking to start a small business or expand or grow or expand the product line, we have our small business checklist, our checklist program. It is designed to help entrepreneurs understand the commonly requested licensing, registration, and compliance needs and information at the local, state, and federal levels. There's also other great information on business planning and development and marketing and procurement. It is a great resource. With that, we want to transition into some updates. PPP loan forgiveness, this is a big deal. The SBA just sent out some information. They are working on a central portal to where businesses can go to request forgiveness. Currently, you have to go through your lender. Your lender also has to opt into that portal. But what the SBA shared some information just yesterday or the day before, that 93% of the outstanding PPP loans, those loans that haven't sought forgiveness, are with small businesses that had loans of under 150,000 or less. And so there is a big concern that small businesses out there are not asking for forgiveness, may not realize they need to ask for forgiveness. And so if you got a PPP loan and you haven't sought forgiveness, please make sure you're looking into that process. If you know someone that got a PPP loan, just please double check with them to make sure they understand the forgiveness process. We will be doing an updated special session on loan forgiveness in the future. We haven't set a date as we're waiting for that final information from the SBA, but once they come out with the information, we will do a special session to share that. Another great tool is the employee retention credit. That is a huge funding opportunity for small businesses. I encourage you to go back and look at our boot camp that we did on it, and then we may do another one in the future as well. We do have one coming up that we'll talk about with the SBA on some of these programs, including the employee retention credit. But it is a tricky one, so please contact your accountants. And if you don't have an accountant, reach out to one to help you work through that. It is tricky, but there are some significant funds that could be available to you. And then the EIDL Targeted Advance is open to eligible businesses. We'll post a link in the chat so you can see if you fit those eligibility requirements and can apply. And then another resource that I just want to make sure everybody is aware of is the Arizona Small Business Development Centers. We work closely with them, and today's session is brought to us by one of our centers from Central Arizona College, and we'll get to that in a bit. But they're a great team, and we'll post a link so you can reach out to them if needed. So with that, we have some upcoming sessions for the next 2 weeks. So we have Tuesday is a legal one, legal considerations for every young and growing business. Then Thursday, we have small business tax credits. This is a great one. It's going to be brought to us by the SBA, by Jim Pipper from the SBA and Lisa Novak from the IRS. So we've got experts from those actual agencies with us. The following Tuesday, we are going to have food math, profit strategies for your restaurant. I would also encourage you, if you don't have a restaurant, to check it out, because there's a lot of profit strategies for restaurants that you can apply to your business, even though you may not be a restaurant. So it should be a very good way to look at your business. And then on Thursday, August 5th, we are starting is our first of a 3-part series that we've done in conjunction with the Society of Human Resource Management, and it's small business HR compliance. It's one of those topics that a lot of small businesses don't understand, and we want to bring you some understanding through this 3-part series. So we're excited to have that. So hopefully you can join us on those sessions. But before those come up, we have today's session. So we want to introduce Kevin Connors. He's a business analyst from Central Arizona College. He's also been a small business owner, a lot of experience. And so Kevin, we're going to go ahead and turn the time over to you. I will say that the information that Kevin is sharing is available at no cost to everyone attending through the Small Business Development Centers. So we're real excited to have Kevin present this. But Kevin, it's all yours.
Thanks very much, Robert. Thank you very much for this opportunity as well. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that I have the presentation up.
While Kevin's pulling that up, if you have questions for him, please place those in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. Find a link for it, and then we will use the chat for other types of interactions. But questions, go ahead and throw those in the Q&A box.
Thank you, Robert. All right, very good. My name is Kevin Connors. I'm with the Central Arizona College Small Business Development Center. I'll have some information on contact at the end of this presentation. Today, I'm going to talk about the pitch, basically a 2-page business plan plus. It's a bit of software that I believe in strongly, and I'd like to introduce you to that. All right. So I'm a big believer in what I call words to live by. I love distilled statements that get to the essence of an idea. And of course, begin with the end in mind is one of the classics. It's a Peter Covey thing from the 7 Habits. But to that end, let's take a look at what I'd like to speak about today. So the agenda will be, I'm going to start with who we are and what we do at the Central Arizona College Small Business Development Center. Very briefly introduce you to that. Then a short introduction to the larger piece of software called LivePlan. It is business planning software. I'll give you a quick overview of that. Within LivePlan is the pitch, which is what we'll be focusing on today. That's a part of LivePlan that allows you to create this 2-page business plan. If you would please address your questions to the Q&A section in this Zoom meeting. And then, of course, this presentation will be made available for viewing later on through the Arizona Commerce Authority. Again, thank you very much, Robert, for this opportunity. All right, very quickly, the Central Arizona College Small Business Development Center team is comprised of my colleague, Paul Vukalis, who sadly could not be here this morning, but he and I make up the team out of Central Arizona College. Paul is a CPA as well as a lawyer. I do not have those credentials, but I was a small business owner for about 15 years, and then I had 15 years of corporate experience as well. Our mission, we serve all small businesses in all industries to launch, grow, sustain, and even exit their businesses if that's what they're looking to do. Ultimately, we're about driving economic impact for Pinal County. Our 3 main areas of focus are counseling, training, and market research. All of these, of course, are completely confidential. They are at no cost. There are some training sessions when we bring in experts that we have to pay. We might charge 20 bucks or so for a training, but nearly all of our trainings are at no cost. As I said, we serve Pinal County through the Central Arizona College. And we work with companies in all stages, even as I said, those businesses that are wishing to exit their world. All right, so let's get into the words to live by and introduce LivePlan. So I love phrases that distill an idea. And for me, plan your work, work your plan is a way of life. It's a paradigm, if you will. So let's talk about why planning in the first place. Well, without a plan, how do you know where you are? How do you know where you want to go? A plan obviously provides you with a map. And the fact is, if you're seeking capital, lenders won't even consider you without a plan. So there's a great reason in and of itself. If you're seeking capital, if you're seeking to get some money, you're going to have a full-blown business plan. LivePlan is what I consider to be the killer app for creating business plans. So what is it and what's it good for? It's guided business planning software that allows you to write and share beautifully formatted business plans, either printed and or online. Because of the way it works, you create your plan bit by bit, and then it compiles it into a beautifully presented plan that is lender and investor ready. The thing that we're going to be focusing on here today is a component of LivePlan called the pitch, which is a wonderful way to present your idea to investors or potential partners. It's a great way to test your business idea. Also within LivePlan is a forecasting tool. I love this tool because it's basically a wizard on top of spreadsheets, and you don't have to know anything about spreadsheets. You simply enter in data, and from that data, it will then automatically generate profit and loss statements, balance sheet, and cash flow statements. It's a tremendously easy to use tool that really allows you to create forecasts very simply. And that's, of course, an important part of your business plan. Again, getting back to the pitch side of things, again, a component of LivePlan, it allows you to create what LivePlan has started this term, lean planning, which takes the most important elements of a business plan and presents them. very easy to use and create. LivePlan also includes a component called benchmarks. This allows you to compare the progress and the results, the numbers, if you will, of your business against industry standards. I'll show you that in a minute. The dashboard feature within LivePlan allows you to track performance. It allows you to compare actuals versus forecasts. If you're using QuickBooks or Xero, it allows you to import that data and then to do those comparisons. Very powerful. Continuing, really, LivePlan is the business model canvas, if you will, but interactive with a whole lot more built into it. It really guides you through the business planning process. A tremendous, tremendous tool. Again, what I call the killer app for business plans. So when it comes to working with an SBDC counselor like myself, it really allows us to collaborate with our clients in an asymmetric way. Somebody can get some work done, let me know to go in and take a look. I can see what they've written, and when I make my comments, that client automatically receives an email notification saying that I've made some suggestions or changes. Ultimately, it's a great way to test new business ideas. And also, you can easily add other business team members so that you can all work on that collaboratively. So let's talk a little bit about the pitch. I'm going to take a sip of water here. Excuse me. So again, the pitch, I'm going to get us into the software here in a moment. This is simply a kind of a preamble, if you will. The pitch is a component of LivePlan. It's what I like to call an executive summary of the executive summary. If you're familiar with a business plan, you know that a business plan should include as its first segment an executive summary. This is kind of a summary of the summary, if you will. It's an elevator pitch on steroids. Another way to put it. It explains your business and business model in 2 pages. One of the things I love about it is it forces concise language. It literally has character restraints. It limits the number of characters that you can use. So it really forces you to be concise in your language. It's easily updated. So you can begin the process, get some stuff done, and make some changes on a moment's notice very easily. Lastly, it allows you to create a private URL that you can then give to other friends, partners, potential investors. They can then see what your pitch looks like and react to it, send you comments, that kind of thing. So that's in essence what the pitch is all about. Again, we'll be looking at it here in a moment. Ideally, it allows you to coalesce ideas for a new business. It allows you to test a new idea, for instance, within an existing business. It allows you to generate interest for potential investors. Convey fundamentals of your business model. I love this part. It allows you to jumpstart a full business plan. It's a great way to get going on creating that full-blown business plan. And as I've said before, I used this phrase, it allows you to create what LivePlan calls a lean plan. And we'll explain that in detail here in a moment. So let's go ahead and click into the pitch. I'm going to go ahead and log in. Slow internet. Robert, if you're still there, I'm going to ask you, can you see the LivePlan?
We see a video.
Good, good, excellent. So I just wanted to make sure that everything was being shared correctly. So we're in the right place. Excellent, thank you. All right, so let me introduce you to LivePlan first. So this is the interface for the software. You'll note that I've created up here an AZ Commerce Authority company. This is just for demonstration purposes today. The major components of LivePlan: the pitch, plan, forecast, benchmarks, schedule, dashboard, and then options. Over here to the right, you've got a question mark that allows you to get to the getting started videos, help centers. There are over 500 sample plans within LivePlan, and there's a lot of free resources and help, as well as great customer service. So this LivePlan, again, as I said, is the killer app for creating business plans. By the way, I'll mention this throughout. As a small business development center client, you'll have access to this product at no cost. What I'm going to do first, we're going to come back to the pitch here in a moment. I'm going to give you a quick overview of what the plan itself, how it works, the rest of LivePlan, how it works. Each segment starts with an introductory video. I'm just going to go ahead and get started here in a moment, but note that you can click on this video and it will introduce you to this particular part or component of LivePlan. And again, once you actually click to get started, if you ever want to go back to those videos, you can come back to the question mark and go to Getting Started Videos. So here we are in the plan. There are basically 4 subcomponents. You have View and Edit, which is what we're looking at here. There's nothing written yet. Outline. This allows you to actually mix and match components. For instance, I could add, let me page down here a little bit. I could add key customers to a target market. And now we have a new segment or section in the plan itself to complete. It allows you to move these around, so I can change things up a bit. It allows you to go to the charts component, add different kinds of charts, tables, or even customize sections yourself. It can be very, very helpful if you're trying to build something special. But I'll go back to topics here. So this, again, is in the outline subcomponent of the plan. Download and print. Once you've created your plan, you can either download it as a PDF. LivePlan will compile all of your work into a beautifully presented document, or you can export your work as a Word document and then do any further formatting, make things prettier, that kind of stuff. Lastly, comments. This is for collaboration, so you can always go in and see what comments have been made. Or if I go back to View and Edit, you'll see that there's a comment section below each of the segments of the plan itself. So I'm just going to show you very quickly how this works. We'll just take one of these sections. Let's just take the problem, for instance. You can either click the Start Writing Now or click the Edit button. So here is basically the working area for this part of your plan. Every part gives you some instructions. Here, summarize what you wrote in the problem we're solving section. We're in the executive summary, so that's why it's asking for a summarization. In any case, you get an instruction as to how things work. Down in the lower left, you get an example. So this is a quick look at what an actual plan might look like in that particular section. We'll go back to clicking on instructions. And basically, you just start writing. It has some simple formatting stuff here, of course. But it just makes it very simple to start writing bit by bit your plan. I'll go ahead and click I'm done here. And you'll note that what we just wrote is appearing in this section here. So that's how simple it is to begin the plan. Again, you're given instruction, you're given examples, and you're given a great interface for being able to create each section bit by bit. And then at the end of completing all this, again, LivePlan will compile this into a pretty document. I love the forecasting tool. Let me take another sip of water here. I'm going to click past the introductory video by click getting started. So this makes creating your forecasts really simple. You'll note up here we have these subcomponents: financial tables, P&L, balance sheet, and cash flow. Underneath the financial tables are these components, subcomponents, if you will: revenue, direct costs, personnel, blah, 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 all the way through financing. So what this allows you to do is to create a forecast without having to know anything about Excel, anything about charting, formats, all this kind of stuff. Let me show you just very quickly. I'm going to add a revenue stream. Let's say we're in the hot dog business. I don't know. I'm just going to put hot dogs. Next. What type of revenue stream is this? Well, let's talk unit sales. I prefer to go unit sales. It's easier for me. How many units will you sell per month? You can choose what you want, either per year. Let's say we're going to sell 250 hot dogs a month. I don't know. And we'll start in July of 2021. We'll just let that default. And the price of a hot dog is, these are expensive hot dogs, so let's say they're $7. Save and close. This begins to build a chart of revenue. I can add another revenue stream very quickly. Let's call it soda. Again, unit sales. I don't know, 750 a month. At $3.95. Save and close. And so you'll start to develop this chart of revenue, if you will, that automatically creates some graphs to display that graphically in charts. So you can go revenue stream by revenue stream there to build out your revenue. Go to direct costs, same kind of thing. You'll simply add direct costs by categories. Personnel, the same way. Expenses, I'll just add a couple of expenses just so you can see something in the P&L. Let's call it rent. Let's call it rent. Constant amount. Oh, it's $2,000 a month. Save and close. Notice how it automatically starts developing charts again. So you work through all of these tables. Ultimately, what this allows you to do then is automatically generate a profit and loss statement based upon the entries that you've made. Creates the balance sheet if you've added that information. Also cash flow statements. So this is a tremendous tool for creating a forecast in your business plan. Benchmarks. I'm going to click past the getting started video. What this asks is, what industry are you in? Well, I'm in fast food, let's say. Search on that. Select a limited services restaurant. What this does is it gives you the general profit margins, operating margins, monthly revenue per employee, on average, what that industry develops. This is driven from Profit Sense, so you can feel pretty good about the accuracy of that data. By the way, also as part of being an SBDC client, we also can generate really substantial market research packages for our clients, again, at no cost. But this is what the benchmarks is all about. Schedule, create milestones, set the responsibilities for those milestones, include details. And lastly, the dashboard. We don't have any real data here, but if you have a current business, you would be able to import your QuickBooks or Xero data and compare your actuals to your forecasting. Very powerful tool. I'll go and say never mind. So that's a quick overview of LivePlan in and of itself. What I'm going to do is focus on the pitch. How are we doing on time? We're at 9:30. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the pitch component. I'm going to click past the video, and we're just going to build a pitch real quick. I've got some pre-stuff here that I'll work through. I'm just going to refer to that as I look down. That's what I'll be doing. So basically you have 4 subcomponents within the pitch. You can view the pitch, you can edit the pitch. This is component by component. Ultimately, we can publish, and I'll show you this in a moment here when we actually build something out, but this is where you can create a secret web page, share that with anyone so that they can react to your idea. And then you could also export this as a PowerPoint slide deck. It also supports a couple of other presentation software, but this makes it very simple to then have a slide deck to propose to other folks. So I'm going to go back to the view segment. Notice when I mouse over here, we get a click here to start this section so we can start to make changes. I'm going to go ahead and build out a small business development center. Yeah, well, my typing skills are this morning. I can select a logo for my company. So I'll come here and, oops, don't double click, just one click and then open. And that seems to be the best way for it to work. So this is going to upload a logo. I'll click I'm done. And now you can see automatically, we see what we just titled our business. There's the logo. I'll start with a headline. Now, basically this, you get some instruction here on what it should be, but it's in essence your value proposition. So I am going to type in here, see how well my typing is without looking at things. I still think that this is one of the most important classes I took in high school, was how to type. Okay, notice a couple of things here, if you could. So I've just typed no cost confidential one-on-one consulting services and training. You know what? I'm going to add something else. This is how easy it is to make changes to things. Oops, let's add a space there. No, it's also giving us a little bit of help. Now it's forcing me, notice I can't type any more characters. So I've got to make some changes here. I'll go ahead and pull that back, and we'll just keep it at that for a moment. But this is how you work with this system. It really is forcing you. We only have 140 characters to work with. I'll go ahead and click I'm done. So there's our value proposition stated explicitly. This is, by the way, this is something that you could complete, you know, if you had the content thought of, you could complete this in an afternoon, I'm sure. Come down here to the problem we're solving. I love the way that LivePlan, and in this particular component, the pitch, I love the way they focus on what's the problem you're really solving here. It's not about what you do. It's what's the problem that you're solving. And that's a very powerful way to think about when it comes time to actually do some business planning. I went ahead and clicked on that, and you have a couple of different ways to do things. You can either type a paragraph, and you have 250 characters limited, or you can do a short list. For this area, I kind of like short lists. So I'm gonna type these in. I decided I type these in as questions my clients might ask me. So how do I turn my idea into a business? Or how do I get funding for my business? Notice that we're forcing, again, character limits here. Love that stuff. I'll just do one more here. How do I grow my business? I'll click I'm done. This is how easy it is to start building this out. Very simple. And I think it's important when you're doing this kind of planning to just start writing. At least I'm of that school. Start writing, because you can always make changes. It's easy enough to make a change. So here we state the problems. In this case, I stated them from a client's question. And now I come over to this section and let's type our solutions to that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to also do a short list here. And I am going to map each of these solutions back to the problems that I just stated. So for instance, no cost, one-on-one counseling. Access to lenders and guidance. And then world-class planning applications. I'll click done again. And there are our solutions. You can, obviously, as you saw, you can do up to 5 solutions, 5 problems we're solving. Working through this to the target market. I love this part. I like this, here I like using a chart. So I'm going to add a market segment. For me, again, this is with an SBDC focus. I focus on existing businesses. How many are in this segment? Well, in Pinal County, there's about 24,500 businesses. And revenue really isn't important to me because we serve any business at any level. But I'm going to say that maybe that's, I don't know. I'm just going to put a number in here just so you can see how this is going to be presented. As you add market segments, it begins to show in this chart. I'll add a couple more here. Pre-venture businesses. And typically there's around 5,000 of those. I'm not going to worry about, well, let's put some money in there. I don't know. And then one last segment, we'll do startups. Around 1,000. So as you can see, we've just created this beautiful chart, really simply done, easy to do stuff. I'll click I'm done. Whenever you click I'm done, it brings you back to the view segment of the pitch. So this is how we're building things out. We're at 940, so we're okay. Competitive landscape, add competitors. Well, I do think of SCORE as being a competitor, even though they really are a sister organization in a way. Wonderful folks helping people, but they are kind of competing for some of my time. Time team, that's how we are better. Sorry. Maybe a broader experience, given what we're able to bring to bear. We have a large team. So you can begin to add your competitors in this way. I'll put one more here. It's hard for me to call these folks competitors because we really are, we're concerned with helping people. But for purposes of planning and how I go about my business, I like to think of things this way. I'll just leave it at that. I'll click I'm done. So there's my competition. Funding needed. Well, I'll just say we needed 12.5. And this is for chamber events, client events, general expenses. I wish we had a budget like that, but we don't. That's the way it goes. Build out your sales channels. Notice, by the way, we're also going to get to financial projections here in a minute. Again, here I like short lists. So, chambers of commerce. Basically, what this is about is how do clients come to me? What are the channels where I actually find my clients? Chambers of commerce are wonderful ways of finding folks. webinar recruiting. I'll leave it at that. Click on done. I'm just kind of going a little quickly here just for purposes of time. Add your marketing activities. Again, I like short lists here. Nurture relationships with chambers. Notice that again, I'm being forced into a certain number of characters, so I must be concise in my language. So you build this out. Financial projections, it actually allows you, if you want to go into your forecast, again, coming back up to LivePlan's forecast component, you can go through that. It'll actually allow you to import actual forecasts, or you can simply input some descriptions. You'll see your major costs, major revenue streams. I'm not going to bother with that right now. I'll go ahead and click on done here for purposes of timing. Forecasting and major costs, that's what we were just looking at. Milestones, so this allows you to input up to 5 that actually appear, the 5 most upcoming events or milestones that you need to accomplish. Very simply done. Add a milestone, call it what you want. What have I written here? How about this one? And there's our date. Okay, oops. Lead workshop. And this begins the process of adding your milestones. I'll click on done. Key roles. Add a new team member. Paul Vukalis. Again, my colleague. He's a business analyst as I am. He's really talented. And then I can select an image from the computer. Again, when you have your assets ready, you can make this happen very quickly. I'll click on done. Hopefully you get the process here. And lastly, the partners and resources. I'll click add a partner. How about AZ Commerce Authority? They're the best. And I know I have a logo here someplace. Again, if you have these assets ready to go, you can build this thing out pretty quickly. I'm done. So in essence, here's the skeleton, if you will, of my 2-page business plan. If I want to publish that, I simply come here, click publish my pitch. This will create a secret URL that I can then share with others to take a look at things. And of course, as I mentioned earlier too, I can download this into PowerPoint. Again, I believe there's a couple of other presentation softwares that will work with this, or I can download and print it. Let me show you what a completed pitch looks like. So here is my actual pitch that I work from. Very nice, pretty, and when you print it, it looks lovely. Here are my milestones. There's my team, partners, and resources. So it's a very clean and easy way to create this 2-page, if you will, business plan that I can then share with others and try to move the business forward, try to seek investors, test a new idea, all kinds of things that you can do with this. So I'll stop there for a moment. Are there any questions that I should be answering? I don't see anything in the Q&A right now. Any questions at all, please place them in the Q&A. But that is in essence the pitch from LivePlan, how quickly and easy it is to do it. Robert, did you have something to say?
So while everybody's, if you're typing your question in, please type that in the Q&A, and we'll be glad to answer those. We still have a little bit of time, but one thing I wanted to ask Kevin is, so one, how do I get with the SBDC to, what do I need to do to be able to meet with you or an SBDC member to create a LivePlan, pitch?
You begin by signing up for our services. I'll have that link here in a few more slides when I go back to the presentation itself. But yes, by becoming an SBDC client, you can then have access to this software at no cost. We do have some offline versions of some of these things that can also be helpful for folks rather than getting into the actual software if they'd like to just get their toes wet, so to speak.
So we do have a question in the Q&A. It's a great question. Is how long would we have to use this to explore various business ideas?
In theory, as long as you're a client and you're using it, we can keep that seat of this license open, if you will. Ideally, we want you using it because we do have limited seats. I do have offline versions of this stuff, by the way, so you can still have these kinds of helps. It's just not going to be nearly as interactive. But in theory, as long as you're a client with us, you have access to LivePlan. All right. I am going to move back into our presentation. Robert, I'm going to ask you to let me know if you're seeing the presentation again. Do you see go to the pitch?
Yep.
Okay, very good. What I'd like to do is just very quickly go through the takeaways from what I've just done, at least what I hope you'll take away from. Again, LivePlan is the killer app for creating, in my humble opinion, absolutely world-class business plans. As you saw, it's guided, has a lot of samples. There's over 500 business plans built into this. By the way, as part of the market research package that you can order through the SBDC when you become a client, you also get some sample business plans through that as well. And as I've been mentioning, this doesn't cost our clients a penny. It's a lot like the business model canvas, right? It's allowing you to create a business plan, but very interactive. And obviously with the pitch and some other things, it's a really outstanding product to be able to really put things together. The pitch itself allows you to do a 2-page business plan, and we've seen more than that. I think most importantly, it's allowing you to test, refine, or share a business idea. That's what the pitch is so powerful for. And it really is a foundation for a full-blown business plan if you wanted to go forward with that. I'm a big believer in having a full-blown business plan no matter what you're doing. But in reality, if you're just trying to get things started, the pitch can be a great way to get going. Any other questions on that? I don't see anything in the Q&A. So here's final words to live by. What's the next best thing to perfect? Well, I like to think the next best thing to perfect is done. So there we have it. Here is some information. If you'd like to become an SBDC client, please go to AZSBDC.net and you'll be able to fill out a form there that will begin the process of you becoming one of our clients. We do have offices in every county of Arizona. So if you're listening from somewhere outside of Pinal County, again, just go to this website, input where you are. I think it asks for a zip code, and then you'll begin the process of being assigned as a client for SBDC, depending upon where you're located. For me, the Arizona Commerce Authority and these boot camps, is such a wonderful resource. I wanted to mention this as well. I've attended many of the boot camps, and I've found every one of them to be very powerful and informative. So I highly recommend these things. And of course, you can always go back into the collective and take a look at what's been done previously and get some great instruction from really wonderful people. It's a tremendous resource. So I'd like to thank Robert again for this opportunity to introduce folks to this LivePlan, and in particular the pitch and its ability to really collect your thoughts. So thanks, Robert. I appreciate it.
No problem. We have a couple questions here in the Q&A. The first is from Dare. It says, can you still use your services even though I live in Phoenix?
Yes, you would go through the Maricopa County SBDCs. So when you go to AZSBDC.net, complete that form, you'll be assigned an SBDC counselor out of Maricopa.
And then the Maricopa team is awesome. They've got a pretty good sized team because Maricopa County is so big. So they're a great resource. So I'd definitely reach out to them. Then another one says, does this app allow you to do a full business plan?
Absolutely. You can either decide to use just the pitch or use the pitch as the springboard to build out the entire plan with forecasting, all of the components of a plan, share them with folks, the whole 9 yards. Absolutely.
Yeah, with the SBDC and using the LivePlan and the resources they have, they can help you put together the proper business plan that has the information that lenders want to see. So it's very important to know that they can help you put together that proper business plan in the language of bank, language of lenders, with the information and forecasting and projections, and the reasoning behind the projections. So you can take that and present it as you're looking to get funding.
That's it. That's all I got for you, Robert.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Kevin. That was a great presentation. Again, LivePlan's a great tool, great resource. And I believe every business needs to have a business plan that they're constantly looking at. There is a question from Cheryl real quick. It says, is there a way to save the LivePlan working file for later use? Yes, there is. It can be saved and updated as you work with your counselors there. So that was a cool part of it.
And I'll add to that, Robert, that if, let's say, for instance, you end your relationship with the SBDC for some reason, you can always download that plan into a Word document, and then you'd have all that content to shape as you wish moving forward. All righty.
All right. Well, thank you for those questions. Thank you, Kevin, for your presentation today. We appreciate everybody for attending and your participation. We hope to see you next Tuesday at our next boot camp. But until then, everybody have a great rest of your week and a great weekend, and we will see you on Tuesday morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you, everybody. Cheers.